before the game, just with the amount of talent, especially on the offensive side of Boston, how it was going to be tough to kind of keep track of everything. Was there anything in particular that stood out that you guys had a particularly tough time containing tonight?
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, I thought the biggest thing, we didn't get our defense set the whole game. So the fast break points are totally misleading. They only had 7. They had us on our heels for so many possessions because we just didn't get ahead of the ball and get our defense set, which to me, watching them play, you have to do. So, they're like maybe 10th in fast break points, but they get the ball up the floor and into things quickly, and those were our worst possessions tonight.
Had a good first quarter, but with a team like Boston, how hard is it to kind of have a complete game, a full 48-minute game against a team of that talent caliber?
Yeah, you just can't get possessions away, and even then, when we went to the bench, there were like 3 minutes left in the third quarter. I think it was 8, and then we just blown sets and blown coverages there. We had like 3 minutes of just totally disorganized NBA basketball, which never works.
When you have a player like Jason Tatum, a lot of times we found Trey Mann on him, and I know that's not the ideal situation, but when it comes to pick and roll situations, what is your ideal coverage for a guy like Tatum?
Well, Trey Mann was only on him because they forced the switch, so he never guarded him.
Correct.
So there's no, yeah. So what we were doing is going back to get Trey off him, it's different with Jason where it was on the floor. We mixed up coverages the whole game, but what you're talking about is not a coverage. That's a mismatch that created by a coverage, and then we played our way out of it.
Going off of that, Coach, it seems like a lot of the NBA is kind of hunting matchups at some point with Boston.
Oh, it's a huge part. Yeah, I mean, although I'm going to be honest, it's not nearly as big a part of the league as it used to be. Yeah.
With Boston, with the defensive versatility, what do you do on offense, or what's kind of your game plan? No, we can't really isolate anyone.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, no, listen, they have, 3 of the premier perimeter defenders in the NBA, and there's, Jaylen Brown didn't play tonight, but I think Drew Holiday's as good as it gets. Derek White's an all-star all-defender caliber, as is Jaylen. So there's not a lot of ways to go, and their bigs are versatile. And they have the ability, when Al Horford's at the 5, for instance, you can switch 1 through 5 a lot of times.
Steve, you're talking about mismatch hunting being not as big a part of the game as it used to be. Is that a statement of the league maybe being a little bit more talented than it was in past years?
No, I would say it's just because we're more freewheeling. I mean, the NBA used to be a matchup league. I mean, when I first, again, I'm going to show my age, in the old rules, every possession was a matchup. If you had a good match, you went to it, and your whole offense was built on ways to get to that. Now everybody does the same. We have 3 or 4. You can use a pick and roll, get the matchup you want, and play from there. So I'm not saying the playoffs are much more matchup driven than the regular season is. But what what it does obviously is, like a switch like that, it slows down flow, and everybody's so concerned about tempo and flow that a lot of times they'll play through mismatches, whereas before, again, it was a total matchup league.
Coach, we talked about having Grant at the 5. Obviously, you've had some success there this season on defense, but just what you saw from him tonight.
Oh, except for the early fouls, I mean, he played great, both ends of the floor. I mean, we've been, with him at the 5, our defense, we're playing these teams right now, and, our defense went down a lot after Cody and Seth got hurt, right? When they were there, I think we were like 4th in defense after the trade, but he was a huge part of it, playing at the 5 even though he's undersized, because of his physicality, his talk, his intelligence.